Hello, guys. Welcome back to another fresh and exciting episode on the show. You guys know I only bring only the best of guests to my show. And today I have a very wonderful guest with us today, Melanie Gorman. Melanie, let's meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
All right, so Melanie, I would like you to introduce yourself to my audience.
So I trained as a mental health therapist many years ago, like 25 years ago. And my career path took me through the world of traditional therapy services, but I ended up getting a job very early on working for John Gray, who is the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And so I worked on a really big book project early in my career, which helped me move into marketing in general. I worked for a big publishing company for 12 years. So I went from, an individual's book and message to a significantly bigger website where we had, I think when we started, we had 50,000 visitors. And when I left, we had 30 million, right? So it was a very, very big, fun, career pivot. And today I run my own marketing agency where I build websites for people. Because what I've really realized is that for most of us, making a living and doing work we love all comes down to our own websites and our own projects that we work on. So I do that today with a small team of really incredibly well-trained website development and SEO professionals. So that's my story.
Thank you so much. So let's get into the questions. All right.
Sounds good.
AI is transforming the world of content. What should small business owners understand about the right way to use AI in their content marketing?
So AI functions very differently than traditional SEO or traditional, online marketing did before. What's changed the most is how we as consumers of AI like to get information. So the average Google query is 4 words and the average ChatGPT exchange is 8 exchanges. So what that has done fundamentally to marketing is the customers that connect with us are usually more educated. They know more about what their problems are. Sometimes that can be a false positive because people think they understand themselves better than maybe they do, and they need to slow down. But for the customers that are finding us, the ones, especially anybody that finds you through an AI service, usually they've done a lot of homework and they have a better sense of who we are and how we can help them. So that means with our marketing, we have to really pay attention to what we're putting out in the world and making sure that the content we produce is being discovered, because all of the content feeds the AI engines. So fundamentally, if it's not published on your website, it may exist out there in the world, but it's not always going to be attributed back to you. So a website is more important than ever before, because now people can learn about you because you have a post or a podcast or something someplace else. But if you're actually not producing, if you're not actually writing articles or producing content on your own domain, it's not always the traffic isn't always going to come back to you. So having a home base or a hub for your content is really, really important. And everything that shows in AI is published online. So if something is not published, if it's something that, it's related to you, but you haven't actually written that article, or you haven't actually done that podcast, or you haven't actually written that landing page, you'll never get traffic from AI. So it's added another layer where we have more educated clients coming to us, but also we have to do a heck of a lot more to make sure that everything that what our business stands for is written about on our website so that it can be connected to us. So we really have more of a responsibility today of connecting the dots and the lines that connect them. In the past, in the last decade of marketing, the big shift has been to social media. And so people have their website, but then they have little ecosystems inside of Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. And those things are great. But if you want people to buy your services, all of those things have to live on your website too. So it's really important to hook up, if you're doing podcasting, it's really important to hook up the podcast player on your website. So people say, this podcast is for this business owner. So there's more to do, but it's building a stronger spider web for your business. So over time, the more content you create, the more it's connected to your business. on your website, the better you're going to catch the clients that are looking for what you have. Whereas your competition may still be only on TikTok or still may only be on, whatever social channel or social platform. If you connect all the dots, you're going to get the clients. Does that make sense?
Sure, that makes sense. Thank you so much. So, what role does storytelling play in SEO and website design? How can a business use personal narrative strategically without oversharing?
So personal narrative is really your story and what your business is all about, like what you come from and what you stand for, right? So in your personal narrative and your storytelling on the website, you need to give all of the, like you need to tell your story, right? So people understand who you are and what you're all about. And you want to back that up with the facts of, your business. Your business started when, you went to what college, you got what kind of training. Like you really do need to have sort of the highlights. You don't need a resume online. You can link to a resume, but you definitely need to state the facts of who you are and what your business is all about, or else AI is just going to guess at it. And AI and Google in the guessing game do different things. When AI guesses, it makes assumptions and they can be wrong. And when Google gets confused, it just doesn't do anything. So you run the risk, if it's not on your website, of misinformation being out there or incorrect information being out there. So in terms of it not being overwhelming or too much, that comes down to design. So FAQs are a great way to have some of these extra facts available without it overwhelming the page. So that's something that can be done really, really well. And then you want to use design features, bullet points, like blocks of text that can be broken up. We still read most websites on a phone. So you don't want to have like walls of text, right? People get fatigued and they click off. So you want to be thoughtful about the design so that you say all the information without it being overwhelming. And you can put things like videos, like you can have videos that are there and you can have linkable transcripts for people that need that for disabilities or for accessibility compliance. Like you can definitely do that. So you're being thoughtful about giving the information and making sure it's accurate, but not overwhelming people in design is how you get around that.
All right. So, for service-based businesses, especially therapists and coaches, where do most websites go wrong when it comes to SEO and online visibility?
Well, therapists, so the thing, everybody has labels that they're connected to. So every couples therapist is a couples therapist. Every life coach is a life coach, right? And you have to you have to use common language for people to understand what you offer. You are a podcast host, right? So there has to be common language, but because everybody is labeled the same way, if you don't also have distinguishing features, like what makes your podcast different or what makes this couples therapist different, then your competition is every other couples therapist that says that's what they are. And when you do that, when you write your website in that way, you'll never grow unless you spend advertising dollars to grow it, right? So when people want organic SEO growth, what they have to do is really niche down and be distinctive about why their practice is different or special over another person that ostensibly has the same training and does the same thing, but you're different because the audience you serve is different, or the areas of mental health that you work in are different, or the kind of coaching you offer is different. You really do have to be thoughtful about when someone goes, like bringing this all together, if somebody goes to ChatGPT, because they do 8 exchanges, they're going to ask more specific questions. For example, I just got a client yesterday who found me on ChatGPT because she said she was looking for a website developer and SEO expert that works for therapists in the state of Maryland in the US, right? Well, that's all true about me, right? But it's unique that that's my core focus is mental health and therapists and coaches, as opposed to I do, SEO and websites for anybody, right? The more you niche down, then you can bridge together a common language, which is how everybody knows that you're a website developer or coach or whatever, with the specificity you need to be recognized when somebody gets deeper into their specific questions and their buying questions, because they want someone that really understands their lived experience and their business. So you have to bring both of those things together. And that's why people hire someone like us, because we're able to do that without it being overly complicated, if that makes sense.
So, What are the hidden costs of having an outdated or underperforming website that most business owners overlook?
Well, yeah. Say that last part again.
So I said, what are the hidden costs of having an outdated or
Yes.
underperforming website that most business owners overlook?
Well, if you've had a website for a long time, you've probably written articles or you've had landing pages that have been out there. So the first thing they overlook is that they've outdated copy. And a lot of business owners don't utilize Google has a couple of free tools. There's one thing called Google Analytics and then something else called Search Console. Search Console shows you what Google's impression of your business is. Like, what does Google understand your business to be all about? And businesses evolve and people offer new services or they have different kinds of clients or they get different trainings or whatever. So they don't keep up with that. And when you're not keeping up with publishing on your website what has changed about your business and you're not keeping an eye on Google's understanding of who you are, you run the risk of Google not really understanding what your business is all about accurately. So Google Search Console is free, and you can go in and you can look at what's called the impressions report, and it will show you how Google, like, what are the pages on your website you're getting traffic for. And very often, websites that have not been updated in a while, they may be getting traffic for things that are either outdated or they don't offer anymore, or they're just frankly inaccurate, right? So I was working on a website earlier this week, and the woman's a divorce coach, and she's also an acting coach. So when you look at the impression report, the top 10 articles that are recommended by Google, 9 out of the 10 are for divorce coaching, and 1 out of the 10 was for acting coaching. So the question I asked her was, are 9 out of 10 of your clients divorce coaching clients? If the answer is yes, it's working. If it's not, something's off and Google's got the wrong understanding. And people don't know to look those things up. So when they come to me and they say, like, my SEO is not working or my SEO is falling or I'm not getting traffic, that's a place that we start because we want to understand, are you really teaching Google all about your business correctly? And so if you're not, we have to make adjustments to the website, and that could be writing new pages, writing new articles. There's all kinds of things that goes into fixing it. But that's the stuff that they often get incorrect from the beginning. And it stays incorrect and it grows over time. It doesn't magically fix itself. You actually have to go in and intentionally fix that.
Okay, so you have trained hundreds of helping professionals on how to write and market themselves online. What is the biggest mindset block you see, and how do you help clients overcome it?
Well, people don't love to write. Most people kind of come to me and say, I went to college or got educated to do something different. Like, writing is not how I really want to spend my time. And so you have to get in relationship with your business. Like, if you want your business to grow, you have to work your business. You can't show up late. You can't miss appointments. You can't not publish the blog article. Like, you have to do the things that are required to stay current and relevant online. And a lot of people they get busy. They just stop doing that kind of stuff. And so when that happens, the business is affected and it's hard to recover. So, writing is a skill, and it's very tempting to throw everything into ChatGPT or whatever AI tool and basically say, like, I am very interested in, just writing a blog post on whatever and have ChatGPT write it. The problem is all of those articles, everything that is inside of ChatGPT is already published online. So you won't grow if you write your articles using chat and you don't inform them based on your personal feelings or your experience or any of the above, right? So you have to spend the time knowing what your own point of view is and writing about that. And you really have to understand how your clients find you for whatever they hire you for, right? So you have to understand where they're coming from and what's important to them and why they're looking for someone like you to help them solve whatever problem you're solving. And the reality is, a lot of people want to write what they want to write about. They're not interested in marketing. They're interested in a journal kind of blog, or they just kind of want to write about the things that that they like to talk about. And that doesn't necessarily attract business. So if you're going to use article writing and blog posting as a way to organically grow your business, it has to be in service and written for the consumer that is researching someone like you and trying to understand like why they would hire you and what you can do for them and all that kind of good stuff. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So when I work on writing projects with clients, one of the things we do as part of our business is we write for our clients, because a lot of times people are more comfortable talking. Like that's why podcasting is so crazy popular right now, is because people would rather talk than sit at the computer and hash out good writing and all that sort of stuff that frankly takes a lot more time than the 20 minutes you and I are going to spend together talking on a podcast. So if you want the results of it, you have to spend the time doing it. And that's where people get hung up. So we have a process where we interview people and we're able to like get their words, and then we write it all up for them. And they kind of win. They win on both sides of that and don't actually have to do all the work. So it's important that people understand like how it functions, because a lot of people out there online are selling all kinds of stuff and just giving you false promises about how it works. You really have to put the time and the effort into it over time. We just published a case study on Crownsville Media for one of our clients, and she's written 2 articles a week, sometimes one, but she's written something every week for almost 18 months. And she has 5,000 unique visitors coming to her website every single month because she does that. She's not doing any advertising. She's not speaking on podcasts. She's not on social media a ton, if at all, really. And all she's doing is blogging. And she's getting consistently 5,000 people a month. And she's a divorce coach. So there's a case study on my website. If people are interested, they can see all the results. Oh, that's how it works.
All right. Thank you so much. So here is my final question for you. What is that one question you wish I would have asked you that I did not ask you?
So I missed the end. So you said, what's the one question? Say the last part.
Yeah. What is that one question you wish I would have asked you that I did not ask you?
Oh, during our conversation. I think if your audience is really interested in podcasting, like, the secret to really getting ahead online is it's picking a lane. Like, what is it that you want to do to market your business? And then doing that consistently over and over and over and over again. I have something inside of my business that I call Common Sense SEO. Common Sense SEO is really about not doing everything, but about deciding how you want to be online, and then understanding and learning the marketing strategy that aligns with the way you want to be online. So if you want to be a podcast host and you want to grow it, what do you have to do without falling for the trap of you have to do everything, or you have to be on every social platform, or you have to, write and advertise and do just, every single marketing thing. There is a very specific marketing plan for each different kind of business. And at a common sense level, you want to know what yours is, and you want to validate that the people you want to sell to, the people you want to buy from you, are looking for you in those ways. So common sense and knowing how to market to your particular audience is the key to feeling like it's less work and it's more enjoyable to get the clients you want to get. But really, you have to be in the space with your clients. Where are your clients spending time? What are they doing when they're looking for someone like you? And what are they reading or watching or listening to? So you can intersect with them, and then you're going to actually get more business. So I think that's the most important thing for people to take away. The secret to marketing is really knowing where your clients hang out and then putting yourself in front of them, right, in a way that they're gonna respond to, and that is how you get more business.
Okay, so thank you so much, Melanie. Thank you for coming to my show, for sharing your perspective and your wisdom with me and my listeners. I'm so happy.
I'm so happy.
I'm glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So how can listeners connect with you and learn more about what you do?
Well, I'm sure you're going to put a link in the show notes, but you can visit my website at crownsvillemedia.com, and there's a link to my calendar, and I'm happy to spend some time with anybody that's interested.
All right. Thank you so much, Melanie. Thank you. I know that listeners have gained a lot of value from this episode. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you too.
See you.